Alright lads, so today we got the news that a lot of us are waiting for, and that is the fact that Burn the Witch Round 1 and 2 are returning, and it is returning tomorrow, and it is going to be lasting right until the end of year banner. The second this banner does leave is when the end of year banner does start. And today we're here to ask the question, is it worth summoning on a banner like this right before the end of the year in like 11 or so days? So in my opinion, right from the get-go, I'm going to say, truthfully, this is kind of an easy skip. The reason why, even though I know a lot of people originally did skip Bruno's banner in the hopes that they could summon for his rerun banner, for example, because the rerun is better. If we compare this banner to the last one, I definitely think this is the better banner compared to the original Bruno banner, which also did feature NOEL and NINNY. The biggest problem and the biggest decider for me, though, is the fact that the timing on Bruno's banner back in like September, October was significantly better than now, because at that time you could easily go all in and then continue to save for end of year and have a lot of orbs for the post selection banner and end of year banner. In this case, if you summon on this banner and you go down to 0, there's going to be a good chance that you're going to have like almost no orbs for end of year or post selection if you don't buy orbs. So I feel like the timing, even though this banner is better again compared to the last one, I feel like the timing isn't that good, because truthfully you really should be pulling on post selection or the end of year banner, depending on what it is, before you really decide summoning on this. So what I do recommend for most people watching this video, especially if you don't own anyone, if you are a newer player, if you are a new player that maybe just started within like the last month and have a crap ton of orbs to farm, at least go to step 5. Test your luck. I recommend most people just do the first step because it is 150 orbs, 6% chance. Test your luck and see how it goes. But going down to 0, I don't know, unless you really want these characters. You know, Nini and Noel are, they're not starting to fall off. Nini kind of is. Noel's still definitely a top tier character. Bruno obviously being one of the better power characters in the game. But I feel like just the timing of this banner isn't really the greatest, right when we have like the potentially biggest banners of the year dropping in less than 2 weeks' time. That said though, truthfully, I do believe these 3 characters honestly should have appeared in the mid-month banner. I know a lot of people are going to say that Bruno shouldn't have come back this early as a filler because he hasn't even got a rerun until now. I still feel like they should have just made an exception, especially if you look at the filler characters for the Burn the Witch banner, where you have 4 Christmas characters and then 6 including the 6 including the Nini and Noel, and then you just have 3 characters that are so out of place that could have easily been Nini, Noel, and Bruno. At the very least, Nini and Noel should have been in that mid-month banner. It would have made the banner significantly better, and that's what should have happened instead of this, because I want to get Nini and Noel dupes, but I'm not going to be pulling on a banner with Bruno because I have Bruno Firefight personally. In addition to that, just so you lads are aware, the banner itself is going to be a normal banner. So 4.5% for the featured characters. These are the 9 featured characters. 1.5% chance to get another unfeatured character, something that you really don't want. The guaranteed steps on 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 are going to come with a guaranteed featured character, so one of these 9 characters. And you're going to have some discounts along the way, so 150 for step 1, 6, 11, 16, etc. Just the normal step-up system. In addition to that, I do want to point out one thing. Again, right, I'm going to keep bringing this up. Lads, if you voted for Yoruichi and Soifon and you put on a banner like this, I hope you get nothing but Yoruichi and Soifon, because I said it. I literally said it. Don't vote for her. She's going to become common by the end of the year. She's at the age now where she's going to become really common as fillers. And we've already seen her, like, appear 2 times in the last month. And then we're going to see her in, like, less than a week's time for the post-election banner. Honestly, Giriko should have made it. I'm going to keep bringing this up. I'm actually salty about it. I actually have Yoruichi Soifon 5.5 T20, by the way. They are a good character. Don't get me wrong. But you got to think smart when it comes to voting in the post-election. You don't want to give a wasted slot. And right now, unfortunately, as a community, we put this wasted slot onto that banner by voting Yoruichi Soifon, because they shouldn't be there. Giriko should be there. He's more rare. We haven't seen Giriko return yet, and he might not return until like February time. Meanwhile, Yoruichi Soifon has already come back twice this month, and she's going to continue to come back going forward into 2022. So I'm salty about that. I made my case, you know. Some people listened. I appreciate if you voted for Giriko. Much love, lads. For those that voted Yoruichi Soifon, I hope for nothing but Yoruichi Soifons when you pull in any banner that's featured with her. Anyway, so the banner itself is actually pretty decent. Yoruichi Soifon, honestly, jokes aside, is actually pretty decent. She's actually probably one of the better filler characters in this banner. I'd say his top row is like the good fillers. So you obviously have Bruno. Let's quickly talk about Bruno, actually. So Bruno's a power character, and he's essentially an arena character. When he came out, he was in an arena banner, and that's what he was mainly designed for. But because he is a Burn the Witch character, he also got special treatment, and he also became one of the just better characters in the game. I personally still believe he's up there with like tied #1 best character with 5th anniversary Ichigo, for example. Kisuke's like a close second in my opinion. He's really good. At the same time though, ever since its release, we got a bunch of power characters that basically can fulfill his role if you have them. For example, he is a Sorpa killer. A month later, we got Kisuke, and he's also an Aranki killer. 2 weeks later, or literally 3 days later, we got the what's his name, Yukio. Now, Yukio isn't really a better replacement for Bruno, but he's the best of both worlds, this Bruno. But if you have those two characters, realistically, there's no reason entirely to pull for this character. One of the cool gimmicks for a lot of Guild Quest heads in this game was the fact that he does have Bombardment and Weakening, and that did allow him to nuke through potential 5 waves of Guild Quest if you do have him duped out. Overall, though, he's a very cool character, very fun to play around with. He's actually a very good character too. Definitely worth your rolls, but it comes down to if you really need this character. And again, we have no idea how they're going to treat rerun banners going forward into 2022, because obviously Burn the Witch came back around this time. It came back in October time, same time as Bruno did, and then it came back, the first rerun of Nina Noel, around this time, and then we didn't see it again for like another 9 or so months. That very well could happen for Bruno, so this might be the last time we see Bruno until like October next year. I want to believe that's not going to be the case, and I feel like they could probably do more Burn the Witch rounds, especially because they did a Christmas, Noel, and Nini. They can pretty much do they can do like 5 more rounds if they really, really wanted to, and they might eventually do more rounds in the future, especially with Macy on the line. She can eventually come to the game, but overall, just a very solid power character. If you do own 5th Anniversary Ichigo, especially if he's 5'5", technically you don't need him. You don't need him, but he's still a fun character. If you want him, definitely not a bad character to pick up. Looking at Noel, let's talk about Noel first. Noel still holds up. She's definitely still one of the better main characters in the game. Her whole thing is that she has the God Kit, so 3000 net beam, albeit it is on the slower side, it's still a good SA1 nonetheless. SA2 is a 960, SA3 is a 1200 force screen. She has a 80% Berserker, Frenzy, Havoc plus 20%, ignore range resistance, so currently good for Extreme Carp right now. Sprinter plus 1, she has the built-in recharge, she's pretty decent in Arena. The only bad thing about her, and same goes for Bruno to be fair, and all the Burn the Witch characters, which we'll talk about when I actually finally get around to reviewing the new Nini Noel, is that unfortunately all the Burn the Witch characters come with no status abilities, which is kind of tragic, honestly, because it definitely is a nice feature to have, especially when you are playing IT or something like that, especially when you are playing Inheritance Trials. In this case, Noel has no status immunities, so if she gets hit by any status summon, it's going to hurt her quite a bit. That's just my small gripe with this character, but again, she's also a very good character, very fun to play around with, and definitely still holds up, even with all these, like, new broken characters. She is still one of the better main characters in the game. And then going looking at Nini. Nini, unfortunately, is obviously not starting to age a bit. She definitely holds up, but there's a big difference between her and Noel. Noel has the best kit in the game for the most part, compared to a few very, very good strong attacks that are only limited to certain anniversary characters. But Nini didn't really get any amazing strong attacks. So SA1 is a range collision attack. It's a good range collision attack, don't get me wrong, but it's still a range collision attack at the end of the day. SA2 is just a shield, no like shield and boost, no shield and heal, unfortunately. It's just a shield and has like a sucking vortex, and the SA3 is a 4 screen. Very similar damage numbers. She's a 14 recharge, 60% Berserker, ignores range resistance, Sprinter plus 1, Havoc, no status immunities, very similar to Noel, but she's more of a support character. But at the same time, she's also pretty good too. Like, she's not bad, don't get me wrong. So those are the 3 banner characters. They're good. But I think like now's not the best time to summon on it, especially because end of year is coming out. I feel like if you are someone new to the game, again, maybe if you can farm up a lot of orbs, it's worth doing maybe 5 steps just to try and get these characters, because we don't know when they are going to return. But I definitely recommend pulling on Pole Selection or the end of year banner. We have no idea what the end of year banner is going to be. Luckily though, this banner will be available when we know the fillers and all the information about what the end of year banner is going to be. Unfortunately, it won't be out at the same time, because again, the second this banner leaves is when the end of year banner does start. But for those that again had to keep repeating it, that had the patience to wait until the 28th of December or 29th, at that point in time, you will know what the end of year banner is going to be, all the information about it. This banner will be out, the Burn the Witch mid-month banner will be out, and the Pole Selection will be out. So best thing you can do, as always, is wait. You don't want to be caught with your orbs though, in case the end of year is actually a very exciting banner. And this could also further push that the end of year banner is going to be exciting, because they're baiting us with this. You know, they could have easily put these characters fillers, but they didn't. They want you to spend all your orbs. So we'll see how it goes. End of year is less than like what, a week away from the announcement of the banner and stuff like that, but we are like less than 4 days away from getting the Banker livestream, which will reveal the characters at the very least, and that's exciting to talk about. So that said, lads, hope you guys did enjoy the video. Let me know what you like to think about the banner. Are you summoning? If you are, good luck. If you vote for the OG so fun, I hope that's what you get. That said, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.